Hey, I'm the MMA loser, and UFC 292 is around the corner. So I'm back with this new video. And before I start the video, please watch this video at maybe two times the speed or 1.5 times the normal speed so that it saves some of your time and you can enjoy it in a better way. Now, today I want to talk about the main event, which is going to be between Sugar Sean O'Malley and Aljamain Sterling for the UFC Bantamweight Championship. Now, Aljamain has defended his belt three times against Peter Yan, TJ Dillashaw, and Henry Cejudo. Now, a lot of people are quite biased in this fight, and I don't think they're really biased, but they're looking into the data, and according to the data, Aljamain is supposed to win this fight really easy against O'Malley. The reason I say that is because Aljamain has really good ground game, has really good jiu-jitsu, really good wrestling, and that is what we think. That is what is supposed to be Sean O'Malley's weakness. Because if Peter Yan can take you down, then Aljamain Sterling can also take you down. And Peter Yan is not somebody who's looking for submissions, whereas Aljo will always look for submission. And I think Aljo can submit O'Malley, but then again, O'Malley is not. I think O'Malley might do better than what people are expecting him to do. The I mean the entire MMA community, the UFC fan base, we always jump to conclusions way too soon. We did that against Ricus Duplessis versus Robert Whittaker. Everyone said that Duplessis was going to lose against Whittaker. Whittaker was going to finish Duplessis, but what happened? Duplessis annihilated Whittaker. Duplessis made Whittaker look like he was an amateur. So, in my opinion, you should never count anybody out, especially if they're the top one, top two, or top three of their division, which Sean is in his case. In this case, Sean's last fight was against Piotr Yan, and a lot of people are saying that it was a robbery. I do not think it was a robbery, but if you look at it from the perspective of damage, then O'Malley did more cosmetic damage to Piotr Yan. He cut open Peter Yan's face. He did more damage to Peter Yan in that fight than also did against Peter Yan in both the fights. So, I mean, if you're saying that Peter Yan should have lost, if you're saying that Sean O'Malley should have lost to Peter Yan, then I'm going to say that Aljamain Sterling should have also lost to Peter Yan in the second fight, because all Aljo did in that fight was he just got into the back position and just did nothing. And Piotr also did the same thing in the third and in the fourth and fifth round. He took Aljo down and did not really do much damage. Whereas in that with that fight against Sean O'Malley, both Piotr Yan and Sean O'Malley were landing heavy hits. And Sean got rocked. He got hurt a couple of times. I don't think he really got hurt. He just got rocked a couple of times. He got taken down in the fight with Piotr Yan. But then again, I think Piotr Yan hits way harder than Aljamain Sterling. I don't think Sterling has knocked out people. He just submits them, and he's a good submission artist. There is no doubt in my mind about that. But I feel like the entire MMA community is underestimating Sean O'Malley's grappling, because we have not seen him grapple in UFC. And to be fair, he never has fought uh, high level competition in UFC. The only high level fighter that Sean O'Malley fought are Chito Vera and Piotr Yan. He lost against Chito and he won against Yan. Now, can O'Malley win against Aljo? That's a I don't know how to answer that question. On paper, from what I have seen, from their previous records, from their previous fights, from their fighting style, on paper, Aljamain Sterling should win this fight really easy. He should win this fight by either by decision or by submission. Whereas Sean O'Malley is supposed to win this fight by knocking Aljamain Sterling out. And I've always seen a better grappler will always have more advantage than against a striker who cannot whose takedown defense and whose defensive grappling is not on point. Now, it has been years since Sean O'Malley fought against Peter Yan, so there is a good chance that O'Malley has definitely worked on his grappling, because he's no, I mean, let us be honest, he's not a dumb person to just come in there and think that he's going to knock out Sterling in round one. I'm fairly certain he's preparing for Aljo at this point for a long, long time. And anything can happen in a UFC fight. I see quite a lot of these not even fighters. I see a lot of this MMA personality, a lot of these YouTube channels talking about MMA, just predicting that okay, we are 100% sure that this is going to happen. Nobody is 100% sure, but it is what it is. Let's see what I'm going to take a look at their Shardog record and see what we can get out of that. Let's first start with Sean O'Malley's record. Sean is 28 years old. He has 16 wins and 1 loss. His only loss came against Chito Vera. And mentally undefeated Sean O'Malley is a mythical fighter we all know about. And yeah, Sean is 5'11", probably the tallest fighter in bantamweight. So he will definitely have a good reach advantage over Aljo. And Sean O'Malley has really good power. Now that's something people don't talk about enough. I think Sean O'Malley has good power in his hands. His striking is really, really crisp. Peter Yan also has good striking, but Peter Yan is not really that long. Peter Yan is not the tallest fighter in UFC, and he's not even the tallest fighter in the bantamweight division. Whereas O'Malley is tall. I think O'Malley is probably taller than a lot of lightweights. He's 5'11", for God's sake. Habib was 5'10". So you're getting my point. He's really, really tall. His last fight was against Peter Yan at October 22, 2022. So it has been almost close to what, 8 months, 9 months since he fought last. So ring rust might play a factor, but then again, he's been training. I'm fairly certain he has been training well. He previous prior to that, he was supposed to fight against Pedro Munoz. I think that fight ended with an eye poke, so that's bad. He fought against Chris Boutinho, the GOAT. I'm just kidding. Thomas Almeida, he knocked Thomas Almeida out. Rulian Paiva, I don't even know who this fighter was. So, yeah, most of his, Jason Herzog seems to be the referee for all the Sean O'Malley fights. Now, let us take a look at Aljo's record or whatever. Aljo is 34. Aljo is pretty old. I mean, when you look at his 34, he does not look. I'm not saying he's old, but for this fight, but he is old in general. He is 34 years old, and 34 is pretty old for an MMA fighter. Not exactly too old. 34. He probably has 1 or 2 years of his career. I don't see him being this athletic at 36 or 38. And also has said that he wants to move up to the featherweight division and fight in featherweight. I don't see him doing well in featherweight. The reason he does so well in the bantamweight division is because of his physicality. He's bigger than most of his opponents. He has good grappling, but I mean, good luck using those grappling against someone like Ilia Topuria or someone like uh, Max Holloway. Because I think Aljo can go out there and defeat someone like Korean Zombie, or I don't know, but those guys like the Calvin Caters, the even Brian Ortega is going to give problems to Aljamain Sterling. He is a good grappler because he has really long limbs for this division. For bantamweight, he's really long and he's pretty big for a bantamweight. But in the featherweight division, he's going to fight fighters who are way better than him when it comes to grappling as well. Even Bryce Mitchell. Forget about Bryce Mitchell, the undefeated fighter, Movsar Evloev. So I don't think Aljamain is going to move out to featherweight and get a title crack, because featherweight is really, really uh, packed at this point of time. We've got Ilia Topuria, and the champ Volkanovski is a goat, is arguably the goat at this point of time. So Movsar Evloev, even Diego Lopez. So I don't know if he wants to move up the featherweight division or he's just saying it, because I don't see him beating fighters at featherweight. I just don't, because he's struggling with bantamweights. He struggled against Peter Yan. He struggled against Henry Cejudo to win. I look. I thought he could win. Look, a lot of people were saying that they were expected Henry to win against him. Maybe I did so, but him defeating Henry Cejudo does not really surprise me that much. If Aljamain Sterling defeats Sean O'Malley, I will not be surprised. His style is pretty much the kryptonite for Sean O'Malley's style, where Aljo will keep pressing you for takedowns. He'll keep pressing you to take your back, and once he gets your back, he'll try to submit you. So, so that is what he should do. Now, his last fight was against, of course, Triple C before the TJ Dillashaw and Piotr Jan. In the first Piotr Jan fight, Piotr Jan defeated him. Piotr Jan almost destroyed him in every round. It was for the illegal knee that Peter Yan lost. Now in the second fight, I think Peter Yan was a bit too emotional, in my opinion, and he was trying to fight. He was trying to knock him out. He was trying to finish him, and that's the reason he got taken down. And also he lost round 4 and round 5 against Peter Yan in his rematch. Before that, he won against Corey Sandhagen. Now Corey Sandhagen is someone people are like Corey Sandhagen is a more technical striker probably than Sean O'Malley, but Corey Sandhagen is someone who gives up his back really easy. I think Corey can never defeat someone like Starling because he's going to get taken down and he's going to get RNC. Corey Sandhagen always gives up his back while trying to get up, so that's bad. And before that, he kind of had a lot of decision wins. He won against submission, Cody Stemmen. He lost against Marlon Moraes. I remember that fight. Really nasty KO that was by Marlon Moraes. I thought Marlon was going to be a champion when he knocked out Aljamain Sterling. That was a bad knockout, man. Props to Aljamain, like showing up and coming back and becoming a champion after that knockout, because that was a really bad knockout. Now, what would be my prediction for this fight? I think Sean O'Malley. I think Aljamain Sterling should defeat Sean O'Malley in this fight by, I would say, unanimous decision. I would not be surprised if he submits him. But then again, what if O'Malley does something crazy? And I don't know. I'm one of those people. I find it very difficult to call a fight because sometimes it just does not make any sense. After the Dricus du Plessis fight, especially, I gave no, I like nobody, not just me, everyone in the MMA community did not give Dricus du Plessis any kind of chance. But what happened? He came back, like he came and showed why he is a championship caliber fighter. He made Robert Whittaker look like an amateur. So even in this fight, I'm not going to count Sean O'Malley out. And I think this should be a split decision win for Aljamain Sterling. Yes, that is my prediction for UFC 292 main event. Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley. Sterling is going to win by a split decision. I would not be surprised with anything. But yes, that is my prediction. If you like the video, then subscribe to the channel and please share this video. And yes, peace out.